Hey, before we get started, I want to introduce you all to a podcast called Doom Generation. Not only is it hilarious and entertaining, but the co-hosts have been very supportive of our journey as we get started down the Hoppy Trail. Check them out. Definitely give them a listen. I think you'll like it.
Did you grow up with a lack of parental supervision?
Do you know all the lyrics to The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Remember Mayor McCheese and the Fry Guys?
Have an inexplicable love for the California Raisins?
Can you remember Madonna's original face?
Then you might be a part of the Doom Generation.
Laugh until you cry with us each week as we stumble blindly through the memories of the movies
And other random things
that doomed us to be the salty, sarcastic, sardonic ladies you want to hang with.
You know us, you love us, you can't fucking live without us.
Doom Generation, available everywhere you find podcasts.
Sounds a little bit like your voice, so
It's not my voice.
oh, okay.
That's Cody.
Sounds a little.
Oh, that's
bit.
Cody's
Yeah.
voice. Oh, okay.
So that's Cody. It's he came up with the whole thing.
Hey, babe, how come your keyboard's not that cool?
Oh, Nick, you don't have a light up keyboard like this?
no. Is it a Razer?
It's the
keyboard?
Corsair. No big deal. You know.
Lifts it. Models it.
Gasterbait.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is gastrobate?
Well, you know, like the gastronomics, but also because it sounds like master. I mean, it's
Yeah, no,
it's
for sure. It's
intentional.
like-
Yeah, it's supposed
yeah.
to sound it.
Do you know what the definition is when I just looked it up?
Of
is
gasturbate?
not good.
Let's hear it.
Gasturbating, someone who likes to fart excessively while masturbating to enhance their pleasure.
Is that on Urban Dictionary?
That's Urban Dictionary. And then
Oh, okay.
gasturbating is on definingthings.com. To hug someone for the main purpose of smelling them, to get pleasure from sniffing someone. Also not great.
That's not what that's meant to be.
Well, maybe you should talk to your boys about that, because it's...
Talk to your boys about gasturbating.
Yeah. You should probably look into that.
And your doctor.
And your doctor.
And your doctor.
Yeah. Fuck.
Feeling good.
Okay, well, another funny joke ruined by Google. Fuck. Okay. So anyway, that's the intro song that we'll play.
Stupid.
Everyone's heard it. It's very jaunty, and then we'll kick in from here.
You are jaunty.
Oh yeah. So is your phone on silent?
Oh,
Yes.
it's always on vibrate.
My phone has
Okay.
been on silent since you met me. I don't know why you needed to ask.
Well, Huey was giving notes, so I thought I'd give notes too. So yeah.
Hold on. I thought I had a burp coming, but I guess not.
He thought he had to gasturbate.
I was gonna say, is that a little masturbation going on?
Hold on. Pause it. I have to gasturbate. Are we recording this? Because
Yeah,
that
we're
would-
getting all this just in case I need some B-roll.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that's all gonna be on there.
Yes.
Outtakes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Perfect.
Okay, everybody's set. Everyone has a beverage you need? Okay.
Oh, we'll stay out late to gasturbate and hang out with our friends. We'll share a few good microbrews, the good times never end. From seaside to the mountains, we'll travel many lands. Eat it up their pub cuisine and hear their local bands. We'll drink it from a bottle in a can or what's on tap. We'll rage brew as we do with fairness and a map. Spirits are up, we'll fill our cup, the wind is in our sails. We'll drunkenly mix metaphors and travel hoppy trails.
Welcome to Hoppy Trails, a podcast where we talk about beer, breweries, food, wineries and wines sometimes, and basically everything that's amazing in life.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Travis, and today with us we actually have a special recording. We're doing an in-person record that we haven't done since episode 1, which doesn't seem like a long time for all of you listeners, but
That's about 2 years.
That was about 2 years. So today we are in person. Nick, you came to visit. We have 2 special guests in the room with us.
My wife.
Monica.
That's right. And my wife.
Stephanie.
And we're all going to deviate a little away from beer today, and we're going to talk about wineries and wine. And in fact, everybody is sipping some wine right now from a winery called Tobin James, which is down in Paso Robles, or maybe Paso Robles. I'm not sure. I call it Paso Robles.
That's how I say it.
Okay. Excellent. Then that's what we'll go with. That's
Perfect.
2 yeses. Okay. So Tobin James is a place where Stephanie and I have gone a couple of times. We became members there. It's a fun little winery. Nick, Monica, have you guys been down there?
Have not.
Have not.
Yeah. Well, we definitely recommend it. We've spent some time down there. It's not far from us here in the Salinas, Monterey area. It's what, like a 2-hour drive?
It's a very short drive. we had an awesome time there, as we do. It was pre-pandemic, pre-baby.
Pre-baby.
So we were living it up. We had an amazing afternoon there. And then, unsurprisingly, joined their wine club, which always happens whenever we go wine tasting. And
We have a problem.
We have
Yeah.
a problem.
Get a
Yeah.
little tipsy and
We get a little tipsy.
come join us.
That's it.
We have another, we joined another wine club. And then, very shortly after that, we had all these hopes of doing, because Tobin James has all these great like annual events and stuff, all these hopes of doing all of these things as members, and then the pandemic hit, and then so we haven't been able to do any of those. And then we had a baby, so between the pandemic and the baby, we've had to like really pick what wineries we're still members of. Travis always says, like, how do you do that? It's like picking your favorite child.
It's like picking your favorite child.
You know, which I
Yeah.
agree. So I think we've actually kind of hung on to a lot of them. But anyways, Tobin James, we had a great afternoon. They have a really, their theme is kind of, it's a Western theme.
Yes. Yeah. It's like definitely has inside their tasting room, like the saloon type feel. And they've got, I think 3 bar areas, one in the middle, and then one kind of near the back and one off to the side. And the I guess the one in the middle and the one to the side are both they're new and custom built, but they actually have a really cool historical unique bar in the back. And what's the story with that?
I can't remember where it originally came from, but they bought it at auction, and it was a portion of a bar that Jesse James frequented. So it's like it's a piece of a bar in a saloon that Jesse James and his gang frequented often. And so there's actually, they had some like shootouts there. And there's actually just like a bullet hole in the bar from Jesse James. So like, I have a couple of glasses and I'm like, I need to see the bullet hole. Where's the bullet hole?
It is.
Like,
It's
sick.
so
cool.
It's it's the front bar and the back bar, and yeah, like realistically, they've got this one spot where, and you can see it wasn't from somebody shooting in; it was from somebody shooting out. Like somebody dove behind the bar and then fired outward from. It's just crazy, super cool.
Yeah, exactly. That was the other cool tidbit, is that it was firing out. So it was somebody behind the bar protecting themselves. But yeah. So they bought it at auction.
From like, I think it was a hotel that had gone out of business down in San Diego or maybe LA, somewhere Southern California.
They bought it originally, and then Tobin James bought it. And I think they then built the theme kind of based on that. Like, loved the piece so much that kind of became their Western theme. But all of that, they've produced great wine to accompany kind of this really cool ambiance.
Yeah, it works out well, because if they produced crap wine, we'd still go there. Just because of how cool it is.
So is this off on its own, like vineyard or anything, or is this more in town?
So they grab their grapes from different vineyards, but yeah, when you go, so when you're going down 101 and you hop off on, what is it, 142, 50, what is it, 150? I can't remember which one it is.
I think it's just 42.
42, that's what it is. Yeah, so you jump off there, and then you're right in kind of Paso Robles, and then it goes, you can keep going east.
And it'll eventually connect to I-5.
Yes. And so this is like right out on like the east end of town, or almost like starting to be out of town a little bit. So it's a ways down there.
Okay.
And it doesn't really look like a lot at first, but then once you go in, it's like
Well, and we've only been, I have heard, I think there's a large portion of wineries that we just haven't even seen, like a large stretch, because I think there's like 3,000 different wineries there. And
okay, it's not 3,000, but it may be like 300. It may be 300.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's, yeah. Okay, that didn't sound right.
A
You're
90% difference.
You're right.
No, that's okay. It's only off by a factor of 10.
I remember thinking that 10%.
More like 30.
Right, yes, yeah.
I remember
Give or
thinking
take.
10% of it, like whatever it was. I was thinking, 10% is still 300. That's a lot. But it may have been the other, maybe 330. But anyway, whatever.
There's a lot of wineries in Paso.
There's so many. Yes, you're right. Because we went to like 10 and I was like, there's like
Yeah. But great place. And in fact, everyone in their hand has a glass which has some Tobin James wine.
Got our delivery.
We did get a delivery, and it got delivered to my work. And I got the notice on my phone that it was delivered, but did not see it in my office. And so I nearly murdered somebody. But located the box, brought it home, and now we have it here.
Yeah, so
And
we
so-
are having the 2020, it's a new guy, 2020 Chardonnay, along with trying the Merlot Silver Reserve, and this is a 2017.
Do you want to say that into your microphone? Or?
Oh, the Merlot Silver Reserve 2017. And
Full tasting room experience.
That's right. the Chardonnay, Tobin James Radiance Chardonnay.
There you go.
Monterey County 2020. Grapes from Monterey County. And ladies, how is the wine? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about color, tastes, aromas, what have yous.
I'll say it's a very summer wine.
Summer wine.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's what it's like. Where did summer go? That's where my brain is going right now.
And didn't it kind of just disappear overnight?
All like
This whole
the
year.
highlight for us, at least what I feel, is the Scandinavian festival in our town. And then once after that, summer was gone.
That happened in early August, and then
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah. Well, and you guys being in Oregon, it gets colder a little bit earlier for you, but us the same thing. It was like warm, it was summer and everything, and then within 3 days it dropped to full winter temperature without any like fall at all.
Yeah.
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 It's buttery, which for a lot of, call out women, but a lot of women Chardonnay drinkers, I know they've liked the description of buttery.
Yep.
Tends to be like a good thing, I feel. I like it, so I fall into that category. It's buttery, it's fruity, and I definitely, it's got that oaky taste. It's a good Chardonnay. Yeah, when you want to drink in the summer, well, sun's out, it's tasty, it's fruity. I was trying to figure out what fruits I'm getting from this.
I'm just untapped so much that to put it in wine terms,
Yeah.
I'm like going through all the terms, descriptions.
Well, it's not a hoppy.
Yeah, I was going to say like hoppy, that's out. Malty, probably not.
yeah,
Citrusy.
yeah. It's
I had a sip. It was nice. I'm usually not a Chardonnay fan because in the past the ones that I've had are kind of a little too bright for me.
Yeah.
But this one's got a nice mellowness to it. It's I enjoyed drinking it.
Yeah, I found with Chardonnays, realistically, I've switched to majority reds. And for a long time, it was exclusively reds, right? And then a couple of wineries have started introducing a couple of different varietals that are whites or light. And they've started bringing me back because there's a couple of places that are making some really good offerings. And so, yeah, like you, I'm like, Chardonnay is not kind of my gig. But recently there have been a few that are bringing it back. And what do you guys say? This is one that's worth having?
Yeah, I think
I
it's worth
enjoy it.
having. I think it's good. I wouldn't normally describe. I feel like the Chardonnays I've had are either buttery or fruity, but this feels a little bit like both, and I like that.
How are we feeling with the acid level? Is this something that's kind of a little bit acidic? Is it round and mellow?
It's pretty balanced.
Pretty balanced.
Yeah, it's
Excellent.
a good one.
Anybody have a particular fruit they're picking out in it? Anything jumping out at you? Is this something more stone fruity, more kind of tropical fruity, anything?
I would definitely lean towards more of the stone fruity.
Stone fruity.
Yeah.
Anyone picking up grape? Is that one of the...
Yeah, a white grape. Maybe
Sugary.
seedless.
Excellent. Yeah, and it's a good color. It's got a little bit of a golden, not quite straw, definitely lighter than that, but not really like a light like you'd think of.
It could be mistaken for a West Coast IPA.
It could be mistaken for a West Coast
like
IPA.
Altamont's keep your what is
Clear.
it, clear? Yeah.
I love it. I love it. We're like, we're going to do a wine episode. And we're like, yeah, but you know what it's very similar to is actually this beer.
Leave it to me.
Look, we're all, beer enthusiasts at heart, right? Yeah, definitely aroma, a little bit oaky, not excessively so, which I think is, like you said, balance. That's one of the things that's hard to balance is that getting that oakiness right, especially on a Chardonnay. Getting a little bit in there rounds it out, but too much just makes it woody without anything to cut it. Steph, any final thoughts on this wine aroma, anything like that?
Not on the wine aroma, no. I think, yeah, it's tasty. It's bringing me back to just wishing that we could do more in-person tasting.
Yeah.
Like I'm rusty.
Yeah.
To get I don't know. I'd love to hear from, it's always such a fun experience to hear from the winemakers or the pourers because they have such a wealth of knowledge. And this is a 2020. So, I mean, we haven't talked to anybody at Tobin James about their wines in a long time. So it'd be interesting to kind of see, how they're changing things, if they're changing things and whatnot. But it's good. I'm like, yeah, Chardonnay is kind of hit or miss. I'm same thing. I'm a red wine drinker. I enjoy a Chardonnay if it's warm out. And this is it. And I'm kind of picky when it comes to white wines. They're not my go-to anyway. So this is a good one. Drink it. I would offer it, Thanksgiving, the holidays are coming up. I would, for all my white wine family members, I would totally offer this and feel like it was a holiday acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's really interesting is so many times it's depends on what you're serving, right? If you're serving chicken or fish, you go with the white. And if you're serving anything else, you go with the red. And what is it, like ham? I guess you go with the rosé or something. I don't know. I don't really go for that. Obviously, your big reds, you want something meaty that'll hold up to it. You can't put a big cab against a chicken breast, right? It's not going to work out. But oftentimes when it's something that would be traditionally the white wine, I'm actually reaching for rosés a lot of times now. Because we're seeing a lot more varieties of rosé, and so there's variation, and so again, not usually going for it, but I think this one it seems like it's got a lot to offer, and it's definitely something that should make it to the table. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Hoppy Trails approved.
Hoppy Trails approved. Okay, so get out and buy yourself a bottle if you can. Now we've got the Merlot, and I love Merlot. And I know there's a whole thing and sideways and he hates Merlot and all this. And, there's a lot that goes into that. But Merlot's a good wine and it's an important wine and has been for a long time. So we've got the Merlot that shipped also. And that's which one is this again?
The 2017 Silver Reserve.
2017 Silver Reserve.
Sounds fancy.
Doesn't it sound fancy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Sounds like it has a medal hanging off.
I mean, it's not gold, right? But silver's pretty good too. But it's 2017 with reds. Oftentimes, I think we all know, generally they're not ready within a year of harvest. Those are ones you're going to see a little bit of an older vintage. And so the 2017 here is one that I think is probably just starting to come into its own. Thoughts? What do we think?
Honestly, I haven't had a Merlot in a good, probably 2-3 years. But it's, I'm enjoying it. It's pretty good. It's got a nice oaky flavor to it.
Do you agree? Yeah, I still need, embarrassingly, still need to try this. Is that a word? Embarrassingly?
That is a word and a situation that's happening. Sorry, everyone. I had to step out of the room to grab another wine glass.
I need to try this bad boy.
Can't be mixing.
No, you can't. You can't.
Don't mind.
You can't
I
blend the
just
two
needed
into a
a little
rosé.
splash of water to remove the Chardonnay.
Right?
So I can taste it.
I am a professional. I mix reds and whites and all sorts of things.
That's right. Right? Was that from The Office? The red goes very well with the white.
No, he says, I know a lot about wine. Holding up a glass of white wine. This is a white.
Yeah. Good identification. Nailed it.
Takes me back to one of my first times wine tasting and some winery in can I even say Morgan Hill? We just walked in and we like, let's do a tasting. And he serves a red, and that's all he said. This is our red.
Yeah.
So I'm like looking at him for some sort of explanation as to what I should look for, taste, smell. But that's all I got.
That's it. Just this is our red.
This is our red.
You're like,
I'm
well,
like,
that's.
oh,
I
okay.
Can't just
see that.
assume that somebody can see color.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like,
Right?
that's probably the only thing I knew about this wine I guess when you gave it to me.
Versus when I lived in Colorado, the winery in our town that we lived in, the family's originally from Croatia, and they're making Croatian wine in Colorado. And the owner, Marco, he was treating it like he's a kid in a candy store. Like, come here, gotta try this. Come here, smell this.
This winery in Colorado, this is the one that you've told me about before, right?
Yes,
The one that you love
Purgatory
from Colorado.
Wine Cellars.
Purgatory Wine Cellars, yeah. Now, tell me about this Croatian wine. Is it certain varietals?
What makes it different is they introduced, at least me, to the amphora style. So imagine a 10,000 pound ceramic vase looking thing, and the grapes just age in it. And I've seen it where part of the juice steeps out like it's crying. But
So it
just,
like weeps out of the vessel?
like
Cool.
but it's not that it's breaking, it's just more that
It's just like porous and breathable?
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so it's what, like a clay vessel, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
And there, one of the times that I was there, he poured, it was actually a Chardonnay. He poured what would essentially be the amphora, and then to compare to the stainless steel.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him like, from now on, serve me the amphora.
Wow.
Like, it was, you could taste in like the back, like the difference.
Yeah, it's
of
that distinct.
metal to ceramic, like clay.
So is it? I mean, my view when I think of the aging in the stainless steel is that it is brighter and more acidic.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of your? And then the amphora was
is
smoother, more round.
smoother, more round. Yeah, buttery.
Probably
I guess.
another level of earthiness to
Earthy.
it.
Another
Yeah.
level of earthiness. Yeah, I would wonder if it adds a little bit of like minerality almost. Very cool.
And then and then if you I guess separate it, what would be barrel aged wines?
Yeah.
that also can give off a different flavor
Yeah.
profile.
You know, it's interesting because, Steph, what's the place that we went to? The winery that we never go to. We went once, became members when we were at Pinnacles.
Chalone.
Chalone. Okay, so Chalone is a winery down by Pinnacles National Park. And they have, it's like a rocky, hilly type area. And so one of the things that they talked about there was that the grapevines, their roots have to go really deep to find water, and it's like just this really rocky kind of soil. And so that's one of the things it picks up is that kind of minerally-ness in it. And I mean, listen, who knows? I've had a couple of glasses. The guy's telling me all of this. Maybe my mind is picking it up. But quite honestly, when we're tasting these things, I'm like, yeah, you kind of do taste that earthiness like you're talking about. So I think that's...
I think their claim, too, is that they are the oldest vines in Monterey County, or...
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
Wow.
yeah, and they started with some vines from France somehow, or something.
Yeah,
but they are
yeah, a
the
lot of,
oldest
Pinot Noir.
vines. Yeah, oldest vines in Monterey County, or even like Northern California or something.
Now, are they on the
like
western side or the eastern side of the Pinnacles?
They're on
So,
the
like, over by 101?
the Soledad side, yeah, by 101.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one
So
that
definitely
is
easier to get to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And for anyone going to Pinnacles, it does make a difference because getting from one entrance to the other is a very long
So
drive.
you could get 50 miles.
We were going to meet Stephanie's cousin and his wife. We were going to meet them there. And we didn't coordinate ahead of time. We're like, oh, we'll just meet you at the entrance. And when you get to Pinnacles, cell phones don't work anymore. And so we realized when we got to the entrance and they weren't there, they were at the other one. And so we're like leaving each other messages or trying to. We're just like, okay, well, hopefully we see you at the top, and we ended up meeting up with them.
We did. We found them at the top,
At the
and
top.
then we went down with them, and then they drove us back to our car on the other side.
Oh, okay.
And
Because they
then
come
we-
from the Highway 25 side.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had an opportunity to see the other side, which would have taken us forever to drive, but actually hiking ended up being a lot shorter to get to the top.
That's it. Hiking up to meet halfway at the top of the trail was shorter than driving around to the other entrance.
And then we got to see the differences in the two entrances too, because where they were coming from, there was a lot of camping, a lot of people. It was much more high traffic. And then we happened to be where we were staying. It was not a lot of people. We were staying at this bed and breakfast near Chalone Winery. Like there was nobody there. And we were like, so it's really different experiences. It's such a cool location. Like we had no idea that this amazing national park was like as close as it was once we finally like drove out there. It's like, this is way close to home. Yeah. Why have we never done this before? And there's a winery. So.
And I highly recommend this bed and breakfast that was there. So it's this little place. It's open seasonally. Like this guy used to be an engineer at Lockheed. So he's like a rocket scientist, right?
Actual rocket scientist.
He retired and bought this little vineyard next to Chalone Winery.
But like retired when his kids were still small. Like the pictures of him building this vineyard, like, or of his children on a tractor with him and stuff. His kids are probably like our age now, like in their 40s or 30s.
And so, they built this tiny little bed and breakfast, and it's these little, like, almost like apartments, kind of like one room apartments. Yeah. And there's no food there. You have to bring food, and they supply everyone a barbecue on the balcony. So you've got your fridge and everything like that, and then you just barbecue every day, and it's beautiful. And
they do like breakfast. It's really nice. But we hiked one day, went back to the bed and breakfast, had such a nice time. The next day it was raining, so we didn't feel bad not hiking. We just hung out at the winery. The vineyard, there's the on-site scenery and views are amazing. And then we happened to be there when they were doing like a presentation for all the guests on condors, because it's a condor preserve. And so we're just sitting there learning about condors. And we had no idea. We were just there like to kind of get it like just some time away, the two of us.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's really a cool spot if anybody wants just like a really cool.
And you're able to hike into the park from the bed and breakfast? Or?
Yeah, it's like from the bed and breakfast, it's maybe a 5-minute drive. So you're inside the entrance to the park, but to get to the parking lot by the trailhead is another 5-minute drive. So you like go in the entrance to the park and then off down their private road.
So that's what I mean. It was really interesting. So we hiked to the top, met my cousins, then went down, and we got to see how different the entrances were. It was like RVs, people playing in the pool. There's a pool at the campground, I think, that people were playing in. People are doing frisbee, all this stuff. And then you kind of circle back, like they drove us back to our spot, and it's this quiet bed and breakfast. It kind of takes a while to get out there. It's like the quiet entrance versus the like lot more traffic. And
so that is all to say. What do you guys think of this Merlot?
I like it. It's good. Like I mentioned earlier, it's got a nice oakiness to it.
It's yummy.
It is.
Yeah, it's definitely got a good color. It is really, really dark. It's got a nice aroma to it.
It's a good one. It's robust.
Robust.
If you will.
Yeah, this is one I think definitely would do really well with a brisket, right? Definitely big and bold enough to hold up to just a good piece of smoked red meat, right?
Their description says you'll find it rich, deep, complex, and worthy of putting in your cellar for many years, which I would agree. This is a 2017, so
I haven't had a Merlot in a long time. I think now that we're in Pinot country, that's what we're getting accustomed to now.
Yeah, the Pinots have become a lot more common. I think more people are learning how to grow them correctly, and I mean us too. Here, Monterey County is Pinot country for sure. Let's talk food. We had spicy chicken from what is it? Heatwave 831, right?
Heatwave 831. Yeah.
Heatwave. And this is a place that we've all been before.
Yep.
We've had it as the chicken sandwich, and today we had it as the what do they call it?
Tsunami fries.
Tsunami fries.
Yeah.
Outstanding. And it's like it's a pop-up inside of another restaurant, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. So you go in. I know the first time I went there, it's in Pacific Grove, right? Pacific Grove, California,
Lighthouse, or some street like that. But
Yeah.
it's like Lighthouse or something like that.
I think so. Yeah, and it's you park, you go in, and you're walking up the street. And what's the restaurant it's inside of?
Rudolfo's Cafe, which is it's like an Italian cafe, I'm assuming, because they also sell gelato. They've got the espresso machine set up.
Yeah.
But I've never had that cafe's food. I've
No.
only gone for the chicken sandwich.
Only for the chicken sandwiches. And you walk in and you're like, okay, there's like little cafe tables, and it's got an outdoor area with some little outdoor cafe tables, and it's got a dessert case. And you're like, come on, man, how is this place going to serve me the greatest spicy chicken sandwich in the state? You know, but then it does.
They deliver majorly. I probably one of the best now. I mean, I haven't been to Nashville, so I can't really say 100% that it's the best Nashville hot. But thus far, it's definitely, I would say, in the top 2 like best Nashville hot chicken sandwiches that I've had.
Okay, hold on one second, Liz. In case anyone thinks that Steph's mic may have turned off, it didn't. She went to go get the baby. The baby woke up. So she is out right now.
I think she was walking towards the door.
She was. She knows we're in here.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll pick back up. So to be fair, I have been to Nashville, and I was talking to Steph before you guys got here, and I was saying, what we really need to do is we're going to have this chicken sandwich, and what makes for really good podcasting is if we can tell a story that relates to it. And remember, we went to Nashville, and we got those Nashville chicken sandwiches, and Stephanie looked at me, she's like, we didn't get chicken sandwiches in Nashville. That was the one thing we wanted to do and didn't do it. I'm like, oh yeah, shit, we didn't get those chicken sandwiches. So I've been to Nashville, and I haven't had the chicken sandwich either, man. So, what do I know to compare it to?
Summer 2023, maybe?
Right? I think we need to. We've got family out there. There's a place to stay. We're going to make it a Hoppy Trails road trip.
I've been to Chattanooga.
Have you?
Randomly, the company that I used to work for, they sent me out there to go count some metal.
And to count some metal?
Inventory stuff and whatnot. And
So metal.
so metal. And I was like, no, I need to try a fried chicken place.
And?
It was amazing.
Amazing. Okay.
Amazing.
All right.
I thought she was about to say, I didn't get a chicken.
Yeah, never go. Didn't get to do it.
Well, and I even, they corrected me. They're like, we call it chicken fried. So I was like, okay, so like the song, chicken fried. And
Yeah,
they're like,
right.
yeah, you can call it chicken fried. I'm like,
fried.
okay.
On a Friday night, right? Yeah.
Zach Brown.
Yeah. I know those 2 words of the song. Yeah.
So they call it Nashville chicken fried?
I don't know, but according to the
Although technically
Waiter
it's
at-
called Nashville hot chicken.
yeah.
Yeah. But she was
So-
in Chattanooga. See?
So I was in, yeah,
okay.
So who
like
knows what
literally
they
almost
do?
the corner of the state.
Is
So
are they near each other? I don't know a lot about Tennessee.
Chattanooga
Nashville
Hoochie
to-
chicken.
no,
At
because
some
Chattanooga
point,
is literally like so the state. So what would be southeast,
Southeast corner of Tennessee.
southeast corner of Tennessee? Yeah.
at some point, we're gonna have listeners, and there's gonna be one from Tennessee, and they're gonna be like, "That's too much. No, you're Chattanooga. I'm out of here. I'm done with you."
So random.
But you got to have the chicken there,
Yes.
and how was it?
Very crispy.
Crispy.
Very tasty. Can I say moist?
You
Is it
can
allowed?
say moist.
Okay,
That's going to
'cause-
get us more listeners.
Okay.
We'll lose a couple. We'll gain a couple.
Moist.
Yeah.
We just got 3 more when you said it, brother.
It was, how can I describe it? The skin was crispy, the chicken was moist, and
Do they
you can't go wrong with that.
Do they do a thick breading out there?
No.
Okay.
No. So that was
I would have assumed.
that was a good
I
thing.
wonder if they use like some cornstarch just to get the extra crispy.
Give it just like a little dusting almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, so you are now a resident fried chicken expert. And so
Sure.
now
For the hour.
compare that to Heatwave 831, the crispiness of the chicken.
I would say they're almost in line.
In line.
Yeah.
Excellent. And now the sandwich that we get, or as we did today, the tsunami fries,
yeah.
which is just chopped and on top of the fries with the coleslaw and the sauce and the pickles, what have you. They use a whole boneless chicken thigh, and that's a big piece, right? Like that's a huge piece of chicken. We've had the sandwiches before, and you've got your bun, and you've got like the bun is only holding like a third of the piece of chicken.
Half the chicken is hanging out of the bun.
Hanging out on either side.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. You can eat the chicken that's just hanging out and be full before
Yeah.
you touch any that's in the bun. Yeah, just insane. But yeah, good chicken thigh. I think very moist, flavorful, good crunch on that. Heat level, what heat level do we always go with?
We got medium today.
Medium.
Which I feel like
That
for a
was
lot of
medium?
people, medium could be considered hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it can. Yeah, the first time we went, we asked them because they said, "Well, do you want it mild, medium, or hot?" And Steph and I, we eat spicy all the time, and so we usually lean towards hot. But I had the foresight to ask, "Okay, how hot is hot?" Right? And the person behind the counter said, "Hot is painful." And so we're like, "Okay, we're gonna do medium then." But the medium's pretty hot, right?
I think the
Yeah.
only time I got pre-warned that I was very hot, we went to this function in our town, and when I went to order the chicken sandwich, I guess the son turned around and he's like, "Are you sure? Because it's pretty spicy."
Well, and that's such a hard thing to gauge because the general public, I feel like more people have gotten into spicy recently, but generally speaking, the general public, what they think is hot isn't really that hot.
Yeah.
I mean, all
Yeah.
of us, we eat spicy food,
Yeah.
right? We can get down on some heat. And there's so many places that, like, when I go get Thai food and things like that, I'll always talk to the person. They're like, "Well, we've got like a 1 through 5." We're like, "Cool. Is your number 5 like an American number 5, or is it like a Thai number 5?" You know, because if it's a Thai number 5, I want a 3. If it's an American number 5, I want a 6. You know?
Like when you go to Safeway and the guacamole says hot.
Right. Like, what?
Oh, okay.
Get out of here with this.
Their Heatwaves medium is basically it's hot while you're chewing your bite, but it's not a heat that lingers. Like once you've swallowed, the heat's gone.
Yes. That's
Where
an
you
important
like
factor.
if you eat like a hot, it's just your whole mouth's coated with it. Now your throat's coated with it. Everything's on fire. You're questioning life.
Yes.
You're looking for milk.
That's why I said shots of milk.
We've all been there too, right? With the heat that, and you especially know it's going to be really hot when it's not hot at first. You know what I mean? When it takes a second for it to hit you,
Yeah.
that's when you know you're like, "Oh no, this is going to be bad in a second." But then it is. It's that linger, that burn that'll stick with you into the afternoon.
One of our favorite taco trucks up in Oregon. They do it proper. Like you get a thing of like 4 tacos.
Yeah.
They've got like the griddled slices of onion
Yeah.
in the plate, as well as a griddled whole jalapeno.
Yeah.
And every time, not thinking about it, like, oh, I eat jalapeno all the time, and I go and take a couple bites.
Yeah.
And it takes like a good minute, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that was a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, man. There's a lot of variation in jalapenos. People don't realize it, man. I've definitely gotten ones that you're just like, this is nothing. And I've gotten some before that it makes you stop what you're doing and rethink your choices. Yeah.
With the flames behind
Yeah.
you. This is fine. Everything's fine.
This definitely a good level of heat with the medium. As you said, you eat it, you get done. It doesn't have that burning in the stomach or anything, but it'll bring a little tear to your eye while you're eating it. Absolutely outstanding.
Definitely.
Yeah. And the coleslaw, I think, is wonderful. Very good flavor on that.
Definitely helps with keeping things cool, I think.
Yeah, give you that little bit of relief. And the fries they use are those the crinkle cut fries. Yeah.
Which I thought the last time that way, because I think the last time we were there, she got the tsunami fries. I could have sworn that they were using waffle fries, but I love waffle fries, but there's a time and a place to use them in certain dishes.
Sure.
And I feel like this is probably a bad time to use it because there's already giant chunks of cut up fried chicken.
Yes.
You've got the slaw. Now you're trying to manipulate a bite with this massive waffle fry.
Yes.
So I can appreciate the crinkle cut fries.
Agreed. I think that the waffle cut fry doesn't do well with a loaded fry type situation.
Yep.
Yeah. It just becomes too unwieldy to try to even get it into your mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah. But no, definitely these tsunami fries are good. I like the combination. The pickles they use, I'm actually pretty happy with the pickles.
You know me, I'm not a big fan of pickles.
No, you're not.
In the last year and a half, 2 years, have I started opening up my life to pickles.
Yes.
But I still don't go out and just like eat a pickle straight.
Right.
Or anything like that.
Right. You're never looking for a pickle.
Today I was a little like, I forgot they had the pickles and everything, and I opened up my fries and I'm like, okay, well, we'll see how these are. Man, I wish there were more pickle slices in there.
Yes.
Their pickle that they use is delicious.
Yes.
It's not like that in-your-face pickle. It's definitely more on the buttery bread and butter pickle.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But
It's a good thing this place isn't near
us, anywhere near us.
So we
every day.
we gotta travel
Sunday.
down
Yeah.
every
it's-
third, fourth month.
Yeah, and the good
Remind
thing
ourselves.
is it's only open on Sundays, right? So this pop-up being inside it's Rodolfo's, right?
Yep.
Rodolfo's,
Inside Rodolfo's. So they only do it on Sunday, and they open at what time do they open? 10?
11 a.m.
11.
11 a.m. they open, and they go until they run out of chicken, right?
Yeah. Which, honestly, I'd assume if all the takeout boxes they have lined up there is what they're going to have for the day, it looks like they're prepared to maybe sell a good, 120, 150 sandwiches.
Yeah.
Or fries. So,
And we've been there on days when there's a line out the door.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And-
we got lucky last time.
We got
'cause
lucky last time where we just made it in and then all of a sudden it blew up. There was like tons of people.
I got us a
Yes.
table and
Yeah, I remember that. It was
Yeah.
like a coordinated effort to make sure that we got into the line. Suddenly a line formed behind us. Monica got the table, which is like the last table that was available as it was filling up. And
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, on that day, they had an Alvarado beer, which nobody else had at the time because it was a beer that is
That was the
Oh, I
time of the
think-
Double Dank Shake.
double
release.
dank shake,
Shake, yeah.
right? And that one sells out like that.
Yeah.
And
We managed
because
to
you
get
couldn't
some.
find
That's
it.
how- I forgot. That's how
I
we were
couldn't
able to have
find
find it. And then
That
sure
was it.
thing, and he walks out and he's like, "Look."
Yes, that's right. Because I wasn't going to
Yay.
get any that year. I wasn't going to get any because I got on it late and everyone was sold out. And so that was it. Though we got them there. We got the opportunity, and boy, what a good beer that is.
Thinking
the Double
about that,
Dank
we
Shake.
were supposed to record an episode with that where you had the Double Dank Shake and then I had the Great Notion Triple Dank Shark.
Yes.
Which we just drank our last can of it. we went through a massive beer fridge clean out because we had beer sitting in there that was like a year and a half old.
Yeah.
We even
It was
tried.
so hard to some of them we were like, okay, well, let's just crack it open real quick, take a couple
Yeah.
sips, see how it is, and then we dumped it just
Yeah.
because a lot of it was just
It was a lot of sours. The smoothie
a lot
sours
of the smoothie
as well.
style stuff. So like
Yes.
things
So,
settle
what-
weird and clumped up. And
Yeah.
It was like last year's rave.
yeah.
And here we are moving with like 80 plus beers.
Yes.
That being diagnosed with diabetes, it
Yeah.
just you have to kind of restructure what you're drinking and all that.
Yes.
So I was like, well, these smoothie, fruity, sugary, sour things are out of the question now. So
Yeah.
they kind of went to the wayside. But the upside is we have so much room in our beer fridge now that I'm gonna start doing some meat curing. So
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got some more adventures on the horizon.
Absolutely. Doing up some pork belly to make my own bacon.
Oh,
doing a
yes.
pastrami.
Nice.
Yeah. So once we get back home after Thanksgiving, that's going to start.
Very nice. Yeah. And a pastrami is basically a corned beef that's then smoked with spices on the outside.
Correct.
Basically, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That'll go through, I'm looking at least like a 10 to 12 day curing.
Yeah. And now when I've done it in the past, I have done it with brisket point.
I'm going to do it with a whole brisket.
You're doing a
point
whole
and
brisket.
flat.
Oh, it's going to be so
Yeah,
good.
because I know that like if I only do it with like either just a flat or just the point, I'm gonna go through it quickly and be like, man, I really should have done like
Yes.
so. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's gonna happen. Pork belly, making our own bacon. That's
Yeah.
gonna happen as well.
Now,
So,
I've heard before that some people will do a pastrami with a tri-tip. Have you heard of this?
I have.
What are your thoughts on the matter?
I don't think because part of it with cooking it is you need some of that fat, the intramuscular fat.
Yeah.
Well, tri-tip has that. It's to me, it's different. Well,
Yeah.
personally, I can't say I've ever had pastrami tri-tip before. But
No, I haven't.
you know what? Maybe I'll just go buy a tri-tip from Costco and cure that up as well and see how it turns out.
Yeah.
You never know.
The,
It's just
we got the space.
Right?
there's a
I'm not
popular
opposed.
trend, or was a popular trend, where people were like doing smoking brisket like smoking tri-tip like brisket.
Yeah.
And
Did we try that?
it just no, I don't bother with it because it's just there's not in order to take a piece of meat up that high of temperature, 200 plus degrees internal temperature, you need that internal fat
Yes.
to keep things nice and moist,
Right.
lubricated.
Lubricated, if you will.
And while tri-tip has the fat, it's just obviously a smaller cut of meat.
Yeah.
And it's not going to have that level of inner fat that's going to keep things nice and moist.
And,
when
you know-
you smoke it up to 200 degrees.
At the end of the day, compare the price of a tri-tip to the price of brisket.
Exactly. It's like
just get the brisket.
you're,
Yeah.
and you're just
What are you doing?
taking a piece of meat like tri-tip up to that kind of temperature. You're, in my opinion, you're just kind of ruining it.
Yeah.
Because it's a little 1.5 2 pound tri-tip is costing you like a good $30.
Right.
Where 15 pounds of brisket is like maybe $70.
Yeah.
So I mean, like the tri-tip is a very high quality cut of meat. It should be cooked like like a filet mignon, where it's a nice medium rare.
Yes.
Or rare.
I agree.
So
Now, for anybody who is not, I mean, I guess it's becoming more widespread outside of California, but you'll find it more California. Everywhere has tri-tip. You get into the Pacific Northwest, you see it less than in California.
it's actually on our menu.
Yeah, I was going to
Is
say,
it?
yes.
Yes.
Tri-tip and salmon.
I
Yeah.
love tri-tip. But you start going eastward, and nobody's heard of a tri-tip.
I'm part of a few barbecue groups, and Midwest guys, East Coast guys, like they like post up and they're like celebrating when they find tri-tip. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's almost unheard of for them in Midwest and out there.
Yes.
I'm not sure what that cut of meat ends up getting cut into elsewhere.
Right.
But it's like, why not have tri-tip available? But
You know, that's something I'd actually want to look at and try to figure out is what is it becoming if not a tri-tip? Because tri-tips are wonderful. It's a beautiful piece of meat, kind of triangular shaped, does well on a barbecue, and it's so easy to cook if you pay attention to it, and it turns out delicious. But I think I want to say it started in the Santa Maria area was where it became like a big,
Yes.
more commonly used cut.
Yep.
And then it spread throughout California.
You could go to like Zanato's Market and their butcher department. They have San Maria style tri-tip.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Zanato's Market also has probably 6 different styles of tri-tip at any time you walk in there.
It's all about the black tri-tip.
It's all about their black tri-tip. Yes, it is, man. Oh, that tri-tip is outstanding. If anybody's ever in the Bay Area, California, get yourself over to Zanato's, grab a black tri-tip and have it. It is wonderful.
It is quite amazing. Just
Yeah.
it's a little deceiving when you're cooking it and it's already black.
Yes.
You're not sure if did I just burn it? No, it's just still black.
Yes, you cannot tell doneness by visual alone on that one. You cannot. Excellent. Well, okay, on this chicken sandwich, anything else that we didn't touch on that we need to? I mean, obviously, hands down, everybody go get this chicken sandwich, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Do we want to bring in the brewery that we kind of mentioned?
We'll get into that, but what I'll
No, I
say
meant
is
for the
yeah.
chicken sandwich.
but for Heatwaves,
Yeah.
Oh,
I would
Heatwaves.
say
Sorry.
it's worth sitting through the traffic of going through Monterey to get to Pacific Grove.
Yes. Yeah, there's not a direct way in. you take a lot of surface streets with a lot of lights and stop signs to get there.
Yes. All I can say is just go there when they first open at 11 and you won't deal with any traffic like we did this morning.
Yes.
Very light traffic as you initially get down into Monterey. Everybody's trying to get into parking for like Fisherman's Wharf and all that.
Yes.
Once you get all past that, it's smooth sailing and you'll get your chicken sandwich quickly.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, within about 35 minutes.
Which is quickly.
We had a nice little walk, so.
But it's outstanding. I've been a bunch of times. I love it, and I'm so glad you guys brought those today. Outstanding.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But as you were mentioning,
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. Kind of just.
we have another location up by us in Eugene. It's actually a brewery, Claim 52 Brewing.
Yes.
They have a separate brewery location, kind of industrial part of Eugene. And then in downtown Eugene, they have what they call Claim 52
Kitchen.
They have a variety of their beers on tap there. But primarily it's, they like to show off their foods that they can produce as well.
Yes.
One of them being they've always kind of had like a fried chicken sandwich, whether it's just your standard fried chicken sandwich or, maybe a couple months later they do a little menu rotation and it ends up becoming like a spicy chicken sandwich. Just recently, they just announced their Eugene hot chicken sandwich, although it's kind of funny. I don't really, I take the local people to be not very spicy friendly people. So I'd imagine, though, that they're calling it a Eugene hot chicken sandwich. It's pretty good.
Oh my God! Please tell me this did not just go to sleep right now. Okay, all right. Seems like it kept recording while the computer went to sleep. No problem there. Yeah. So tell me about the chicken there and how it compares to Heatwave 831.
Very similar. A nice solid crisp. I believe they're also using chicken thighs. Because at least in the past when I've gotten one of their crispy chicken sandwiches, it was definitely more of a darker tone of meat when you bite into it and everything. Very tender. Not as big a piece or big as chicken thigh. Maybe they're just going with younger chickens that haven't grown so much. But it fits perfectly within the bun for the most part. You might have a little overhang, but I would say their sandwich I haven't had major issues eating with a beard. Like I've had with Heatwaves. But regardless, another very good chicken sandwich. I'm saying theirs and then Heatwaves and the top two fried chicken sandwiches that I've had.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I feel like the chicken thigh is the way to go. The chicken breast, there's something about it to where it won't stay moist as much as the thigh will. It'll end up being a little bit more dry, but it has the potential to be more fibery. I mean, I guess if you brine it, you can maybe retain some of the moisture in it. But end of the day, we've got all these chicken thighs. Why not just use the chicken thigh for the sandwich? Is kind of my thought.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Leave the breast to dinner, like entrees.
Exactly. Stuff that, make like a cordon bleu.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Perfect for a chicken breast.
Absolutely.
It doesn't need to be on the sandwich. No need.
Unless you butterfly it and you have like a massive bun as well, and you get this giant butterfly breast. That's all.
Yes.
Definitely.
That sounds outstanding.
I was going to say the pickle brine fried chicken. Very good. I don't know if you ever had pickle brine fried chicken.
On that note,
I have not.
In Eugene as well, Black Wolf Supper Club.
That's another good restaurant.
Oh my goodness.
They actually do pickle brine fried chicken.
Really?
Yeah, that's one of their entrees is pickle brine fried chicken, and they serve it with a waffle. A cornmeal waffle.
Cornmeal waffle, yeah.
Wow.
And
dude, this
pickle.
place is
That sounds outstanding.
this restaurant. They're kind of New Orleans inspired.
Ooh.
Kind of the vibe you walk in there. They got the chandeliers made of like the beads.
Yes.
And everything.
Yes.
Very cool.
I love their mural of what would essentially be Red Riding Hood and the wolf.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But their menu is pretty killer. They do like some fried okra or
The beignets.
My other favorite beignets,
Yeah.
crab stuffed beignets.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. I've never heard of that.
I
Because
never heard of
beignet, the fried dough and some powdered sugar on top, right? I mean, that's all
Yeah.
I've
Which is
ever
a
had.
dessert option.
Yeah.
Which is
But
the
the-
dessert option, but then the appetizers is crab stuffed beignets.
They're making it savory and crab stuff.
Yeah.
goodness.
But they are not open Sundays. So that's
whatever.
Sunday, Mondays.
But
Yeah.
the plate that I can't stop getting is their shrimp and cheesy grits.
Shrimp
Like some
and
of the
cheesy
best grits I've ever had.
Really?
And their shrimp are huge. Like
Yeah.
jumbo shrimp. They also do a really good gumbo.
Gumbo.
My dad gets that a lot. Their gumbo is really good.
Yeah. What's this place called?
Black Wolf Supper Club.
Black Wolf Supper Club. Okay, well, I'm going to be up there in a few short weeks.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we're going to need to figure out how we go there.
Yeah, we have a couple spots that we're already lined up. We'll just go there.
Brilliant. Okay, there's going to be a tour
Yes.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
Wineries and food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't
Oh, and
beat it.
breweries.
And breweries, of course.
Of course.
That goes without saying, right?
But just from Junction City to Eugene,
Yeah.
we're like, 12, 15 wineries?
yeah.
12, 15 breweries.
Yeah,
12, 15
that's
breweries.
something I think a lot of people don't realize. Eugene is packed with breweries.
Yes.
And then there's some kind of outskirts and surrounding, much like a lot of places, right?
Yeah.
Breweries are popping up. There's a lot of people doing really good beer, and just the variety in the offerings it's wonderful for anybody that loves beer. I mean, really, the entire Pacific Northwest or the whole Pacific Coast
Yep.
is going to have a lot of good places for you to go
Absolutely.
and good food along the way. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, let me see. A couple of announcements. One of the things we've been talking about is doing a pub food segment here. So, people will be able to submit their ideas for a pub food and, something that's maybe a variation on something traditional, and we'll come up with our own variations on it.
I remember buying some ingredients to do this, and then we just lost time, and it never happened.
As it happens.
I still have some of those ingredients in my freezer.
Yes.
We may, on the trip back home, we'll probably stop at the place in Central Point, Oregon again. Road
Yes.
Creamery again.
Yes.
Pick up some goodies.
Good.
But, yeah.
Okay, so we'll have that upcoming then for the next episode.
Yeah.
And then we will we'll make an email address or various social media available where people can submit their ideas, and we'll bring them to reality, and we'll see what happens. And Nick, something that I actually was going to bring up with you is there is a... Hey everyone, Travis from Hoppy Trails in the future. The information you were about to hear has been censored as highly classified. If you'd like more information, check out Sequoidea.com and the Least Haunted podcast. Anyway, back to the show. And it'll be a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Excellent. Well, listen, that's what we've got for today. I think 100% people need to go to Tobin James and drink that wine. Obviously, get to Heatwave 831 and any of the other places we mentioned. We'll probably put a list up somewhere
I
because
manifest.
that's it. Because you got to get to all of them. Everything's delicious and wonderful. And we will try to be better about recording schedules and not make this like a once a year type of thing. Because there's so much out there that we've got to experience and then share with people.
Absolutely.
And,
Life happens.
What's that?
Life happens.
Life happens. It does. What are you going to do?
But you know what? I'm going to point over to the sign over here and say, do more of what makes you happy.
Do more of what makes you happy, right? Yeah. I know. We've got the sign here. We just got to follow it.
Thank you, sign, for reminding
That's
us.
right. Well, this has been great. And Monica and Steph, we really appreciate having you two. Steph obviously stepped out because our baby woke up, and that's what happens. But it's been great having you on here, having your insight and your stories.
Thank you.
We'll do this again for sure. And until next time, always say yes to the Hoppy Ending.
Always yes.
The preceding podcast was produced by Sequoidea Productions, LLC. Copyright 2022. All rights reserved. If you enjoyed this show and you're looking for more, or even if you're looking for something a little different, check out the other amazing shows by Sequoidea Productions, wherever you get your podcasts, or on Sequoidea.com.
Hoppy Trails to brew until drink again. Hoppy Trails to brew. Keep sharing with your friends. Who cares about which IPA tastes better? ABV are just a couple letters. Hoppy Trails to brews until we drink again.